Hi, beautiful souls. This is Dr. My Angel signing on with another Twin Flame channeled message. So, I was guided to break down some of the comparisons between the Twin Flame journey and the Matrix Resurrection. And you must forgive me. Last night, I did go out with my girlfriend. We had a mighty fine time out there in the Matrix and enjoying my last couple of, I guess you would say, hours of 2021. And I cannot wait until this shit is over because I am definitely abandoning the Matrix and for now on living a straight up red pill pusher type of lifestyle. So that was my way of saying goodbye last night. I digress. So what I wanted to share was just some very interesting comparisons between Neo, the Chosen, and Trinity, and how both these characters truly portray the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And they also help for those of you who are still trying to understand the whole twin flame energetic connection, to get a better sense of how the energies actually work between you and your divine feminine and your divine masculine. So I want to start with the first comparison, and that is Neo himself. So Neo is the chosen one, right? But he forgets that. He is stuck in the Matrix. He's now taking blue pills. And the blue pills are supposed to help him to deal with his psychosis, right? He's being given these blue pills by a psychiatrist who has convinced Neo, who is now named Thomas, that all of his recognition of his powers, his psychic abilities, his ability to shapeshift, and also his gift, his psychic gifts and powers, and his ability to escape and astral travel from the physical world and the spiritual world is all delusions, right? And that he's suffering from a mental illness. This is what he's convinced, even though Neo is very much aware that he has some sort of psychic powers, that he's able to see beyond the physical world, yet he is being brainwashed and manipulated and controlled to believe that his gifts are anything other than that they are just merely a figment of his own mental health issues. So this resonated with me very much so because there are so many divine masculines, and this is what I'm hearing, who have grown up in the Matrix with impeccable ability to see beyond the physical world, and who have, I'm so sorry, my cat is in the background, and I apologize for that. But anytime I'm really, really, really connecting with the divine, for some reason my cat tends to get a little excited. So I apologize. But just to go back to that whole point about how the divine masculines, they grow up with these psychic abilities. They grow up with these spiritual gifts. And, if they are popular, for instance, if you are, you could taught yourself how to play Mozart, or you taught yourself how to draw, like you were on the same level of a Vincent van Gogh or someone who is very famous for their paintings, and they'll compare you to all of the greats, right? But when you start as a child to talk about how you see spirits or see energies, or how you can fly, or how you can read people's minds, then those type of gifts are not usually favored, right? They're looked down on. And like, how could you fly? You can't fly. It's physically impossible for you to fly, right? So these are things that adults would probably tell a very gifted divine masculine as they're growing up, that they're too creative. They have an overactive imagination. So really suppressing the divine masculine's abilities at a very, very young age is something that is very common with a lot of gifted chosen ones. Okay. So I also want to talk a little bit about how Neo, who's now conditioned to believe that his name is Thomas and who has a mental health issue, his challenge is to create a video game that is beyond using binary code, right? Binary is now considered by his boss as being something too limited, not too small and just very minuscule, that, to think beyond binary. So this gives me chills, because when we are awakening, so us chosen ones, and if you're listening to this and you're still with me, then obviously this resonates with you and you're definitely a chosen one. Chosen ones, when we're awakening, the universe sends us numbers. So you will see 1111, 555, 444, 333 number patterns. These number patterns are to help you to pretty much see beyond the physical world, okay? Remember that we also have in our bodies DNA. These numbers trigger certain codes within your DNA to help you to awaken, so that you can recognize that you're no longer, you're not a physical human being. You are a soul that is in an avatar in a physical body that is operated by a computer. So this is basically, your body is basically your soul's robot that is used to navigate this physical world. That's just one way to look at it. There's so many other ways to look at it, but that's just one way to look at it. And so in order for you to be reminded of your great divine self, these numbers are basically the universe's way of trying to get your attention to wake up. So what Neo's boss is pretty much telling him is that, numbers, you got to go beyond numbers for this new game. Almost as if numbers themselves are just not as big. So what would be bigger than numbers, right? What would be bigger than numbers? And that's a whole nother conversation or a whole nother day. But anything bigger than numbers or infinity is definitely going to involve space, right? So space is boundless. It is unlimited, right? And that's a whole nother conversation, but I don't want to get too far off from what the main topic is, and that is comparing the Matrix Resurrection to the Twin Flame journey. So let me get back on topic. So when Neo goes to the cafe and he spots Trinity, there's some soul recognition right away, right? Neo recognizes her, and Trinity, who is Tiffany at this time, recognizes Neo. This is extremely important because many of you who are divine masculines and divine feminines, when you met your divine counterpart, you immediately had a soul recognition. One of the things that we have to always remember is that we are all energy. Yes, we have different personalities, we have different cultures, we have different character traits, but we still are at the very end of the day connected and linked up through energy. So you can't lie to your true self. Your true self knows who you truly are. As much as the physical world tries to push these blue pills on you to believe you're anything other than your true self. Your soul recognizes that. Your soul, your higher self, your oversoul knows who your true self is. And so did Neo and Trinity when they pretty much crossed paths, which was divinely orchestrated at the cafe. And it was almost as if Trinity could recognize Neo first. And then Neo then started to become highly interested in talking to her. And that is very, very similar to what happens when divine masculine and the divine feminine connect for the very first time. Okay, the souls know their soul recognition. So he's, stares at her at the cafe. It's almost as if, he's replaying their past life together, because your divine masculine, if you're listening, your divine feminine, well, I'm just going to say divine counterpart, because there are some divine masculines that also listen to my channel. Your divine counterpart has this like instant knowingness. There's a knowingness as if you've known each other before. You have had a past life. And it's an instant soul recognition. And it's almost if you are searching, like, where do I know this person from? Like, I know this person somewhere. I'm just trying to put my finger on it. So everyone who's listening, what you have to remember is that your soul does not die. Okay. Your soul, your energy gets, recycled over and over and over again. Okay. Energy cannot be, destroyed. It is just recycled. Okay. And so having a past life with your divine partner is extremely, possible. Right. And then being able to understand why you both came back together in union. Right. So that's the first union that we're talking about, not the reunion. We'll get to that in a moment. So another comparison is Neo is the one. He is, finds that when he gets, and I don't want to spoil the movie, but there is a part of the movie where Neo finally stops taking the blue pills, and then he finally takes the red pills, and he does leave the Matrix, and he goes off into another realm, okay, of consciousness. However, Trinity is still stuck in the Matrix. She's still stuck in the physical world, and Neo has to save Trinity. Now, at this point in time, Trinity is has a different identity. She's a suburban mom with 3 kids, and all of her powers and her ability to help Neo with this binary code complex problem. He has to go back into the world to save her in order for them to join forces so that they can pretty much carry out this new task together. So what Neo discovers very quickly is that he's more powerful when he's with Trinity. And the divine masculine and the divine feminine are very much powerful when they are together. So this is what I need for everyone who is still listening to understand. Your divine counterpart is, when you both come into reunion, your job is to lift the vibrations of this planet Earth and make it a better place for generations to come. That is a monumental task. Therefore, there are going to be all sorts of spiritual attacks that are both on the divine feminine and the divine masculine to keep these divine beings from coming together and uniting. Because once that happens, there are entities, there are energy vampires, there are entities who have no souls, who roam this planet, who have hijacked this planet to basically control of the resources because they have a deficit mindset, they have a scarcity mindset. They don't want this reunion to take place. And they will use people within your inner circle, your friends, your family, your jobs. They will use your insecurities to gaslight you, to make you think that you're mentally ill, to suppress your divine powers, your spiritual gifts. Because if you are awakened, if you awaken to the best version of yourself, your truest self, and you get into union with your divine partner, these demonic entities, these forces, they don't want to see that happen. So there's a bunch of tools that are used to keep the chosen ones deaf, dumb, and blind to their true power. And so, while in the movie, Neo is free. He's in the Matrix. He's free out of the Matrix. He realizes that his divine feminine is still there, and he has to go and save her so they can join forces. Now, I don't want to give out the end of the movie because this is definitely a spoiler alert, right? If I do that. But I will say this. There is a point in the movie where Neo cannot fly. He forgets how to fly. He's aged a little bit, and he forgets how to fly. However, Trinity, right, remembers how to fly, and she's able to carry him to safety. So he saves her from the Matrix, and she's able to activate her powers of flying and saving him as well. So I guess the overall message here is that reunion, everyone wants reunion with their divine counterpart, right? Because, this obviously, you having a twin flame, it's an energetic connection like no other. It is something that is very esoteric, right? Because you have to experience it to truly understand how it works when you and your divine counterpart can read each other's thoughts. You can speak to each other telepathically. You can see each other and meet up in the fifth dimensional world. And as you grow, what you recognize is that you're never apart from your twin flame. Your twin flame is always a part of you. So the closer you get to union of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within inside yourself, balancing those energies, the closer you get to physical union with your twin. But here is the most, I would say it's the most paramount thing that I've learned throughout this journey, is that physical union with your twin is not as powerful as being in physical union with yourself. That is the most powerful. Understanding that you are the chosen one, that you are the divine one. And there are lessons. There are going to be spiritual attacks on you. There are going to be people who are calling you crazy. There are going to be dark nights of the soul, more than just one. You will have to purge. You will have to stop taking blue pills and take care of your mental, physical, and spiritual self. You will have to awaken to your true potential. So it's not just about being in physical union with your twin. You are already in union with your twin. You are already, it's destined. It's divine. It's a divine destiny. But in order for you both to come into power with one another, just like in the movie Matrix Resurrection, Trinity had to awaken to her true self. And Neo had to remember his true self as well. And it was only then could they come together. So everybody's like, I want physical union. I want physical union. I want to be with my divine masculine, my divine feminine, the one that I love. Let me explain something to you. If you're still sitting there with that mindset, it's going to take you some time. It's going to take you a long time. Because this type of love is an unconditional, selfless type of love. The whole purpose is for you to come together and make the world a better place. It's not just to come together with your physical twin so that you can walk hand in hand in a park. Or to have a romantic relationship. It is to serve the Most High, God. And that is where reunion comes into play. So I know, with that being said, I know it's tough. I know it's hard. And I know that it can be lonely sometimes, right? I get it. And that is when you have to do the work. You have to fight through those lonely nights. You have to go within, do the work, meditate, break down those walls of disillusion, and to begin to see anything and everything that you interface with as being energy coming from the same source, right? And it's only when you begin to align yourself with everything that serves your highest good and you do the healing, that's when you start to surrender and detach. When you can truly detach from the physical world and surrender to source and surrender to healing thy divine self, is when reunion starts to come into play. So that is all. I hope that you enjoyed this recording. I hope that you were able to find some nuggets of wisdom, or maybe I sparked further questions. Please leave a comment. Or if you have anything else you want to add to the conversation, that'd be great as well. And whenever you're listening to this is timeless, but it is December 31st, 2021. And I wish everyone who is listening now a happy new year. We do know that time is fluid though, right? We do know that time really doesn't have a beginning or ending, right? That is we use clocks. It's a tool that's used by man to measure, where you are in space. So wherever you are in space, when you hear this message, please just be good to yourself, be good to others, and be patient with your journey. It is okay. Sometimes we all fall off our high horses, right? We got to get back on. So just always stay high vibrational. And with that being said, lots of love and light. Feel free to send me an email if you have any other private questions or concerns. My information will be in the description box. And bless.